Hi, good afternoon. I'm Kimberly Norick. I'm the educational representative for music and arts in Middle Tennessee. I'm here with Mr. Ozimek. He's a professional teacher at our stores, and he is going to be demonstrating different levels of clarinets so that you can hear the features of the intermediate and professional instruments. And he's going to be discussing some of his quality or qualifications with us. And if you all have any questions at the end of our session, please put them in our chat room. Thank you. Mr. Ozimek, can you tell us
Pleasure to
about
be
yourself?
here. Yes. I'm glad to be here this afternoon to demonstrate these instruments for you. My relationship with the clarinet goes way back to 1964. I started in the band program in New York, and I've had a great opportunity to study with some of the world's greatest clarinetists. I studied with two of the Juilliard teachers, Joe Allard. Some of you might know he was John Coltrane's saxophone teacher as well, and the famous Leon Rushinoff, who had many of the top clarinetists in the top orchestras in the world. So when I was a young man, I made sure that I got to New York City and studied with them. Also, Fred Ormond from the Chicago Symphony, and I got my degree at Indiana University and studied with teachers from the St. Louis Symphony, the Buffalo Philharmonic, Cincinnati Orchestra, just a wide array, the Metropolitan Opera Orchestra. So clarinet has had a long history with me. I did play with the Nashville Symphony and the Murfreesboro Symphony here in the Middle Tennessee area. Many Broadway shows, recording sessions. It just goes a long list. So I'm really glad to be here. I think I can give you some great insights into what you'll be looking for clarinet, and do a nice demo for you so you can hear the instruments we have available for you.
The first instrument that Mr. Ozimek is going to be demonstrating for us is the Giardinelli clarinet by Buffet.
Yes, this is kind of a new instrument on the market. I had a chance to try one of these about a year ago, and I was pretty well impressed with it. It's grenadilla wood, which makes a great difference in your tone. There's a sort of a rich resonance that you get with a wood instrument. And this is made by the Buffet company, as mentioned. Buffet is one of the top clarinet manufacturers in the world. For generations, the greatest clarinet players have played on Buffet instruments. So you know you're going to have craftsmen that are making these to high specifications. Let's have a listen here. I'll play a little bit with this instrument here. Now, one of the restrictions we're having, of course, with the virus being present now, is that we're placing these over our bells. So I did feel a little bit of resistance when I got down to the low notes, but that would not be a normal thing that you would experience if you had this taken off. The instrument has a very nice, beautiful center to it, and you can tell it has a very nice tone to it as well. One of the factors that we've talked about as we've examined some of these intermediate instruments is the feel of the keys. This also has silver-plated keys. Many people prefer that because it gives you a very solid touch when you touch the key. These fingers, if it's on a nickel-plated key, can slip off quite easily. And since these are clustered so close together, it gives you that extra confidence. As I touch the key, I know my finger's going to stay there. We have usually in instruments in these qualities, you're going to have what's called undercut tone holes. There's some aspects of how the bore is manufactured and how the tone holes themselves are created that create a more melodious and smooth kind of sound. And I think this instrument, especially at its price range, plays very well. I think we're somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,400. The market has raised the price of clarinets quite a bit recently, and that's a very good price. So this would make an excellent instrument for somebody like an advancing middle school student or early high school student that they have their eyes that they need something better than just your basic student instrument. I think you could go a long ways with this to achieving mid-state and all-state band. And so if you're looking for something that's a good touch on your wallet, where you're not going to be having to pay the upper prices of the professional instruments, this could be a very good selection for you.
Okay, next up, Mr. Osmek's going to be demonstrating a LeBlanc Serenade. It's an intermediate clarinet also.
Okay, the LeBlanc is actually the oldest clarinet manufacturer in the world. They started making their instruments back in 1760, so they have a long tradition of making quality instruments, and it was a long time where they were competing with the Buffet company, and they make a good instrument. This is an intermediate instrument, and it also is grenadilla wood. Another feature I really like on it is the movable thumb rest. This is a really nice feature. Anyone that's played the instrument that has practiced over a prolonged period of time notices that you can get a soreness in your thumb here. So this allows you to put it in just that right position where your fingers will meet the holes. Playing the clarinet, that's a big issue, is covering the holes. So a movable thumb rest is a good thing. Again, we have grenadilla wood, which will enhance the tone of the instrument. One thing that you want to be aware of when you come in and try them is every instrument will play a little bit different because wood grows in the ground. Every piece of wood is different, and they'll all have slightly different tones. So here's a demonstration of what the LeBlanc Serenade sounds like. That's the LeBlanc.
Okay, next, Mr. Osmek's going to be demonstrating a Buffet R13. It is a professional model.
Okay, here's a real nice clarinet. This would be for a very serious student that has the idea that I may go to the highest level you can be in the high school level, maybe all-state band, and maybe go on to college or even a professional. This is the gold standard for many, many years for professional clarinetists. In the top orchestras in the world, the R13 has been long respected as one of the finest clarinets ever made. So I actually have, I think I have two of these. Yes, I have two R13s. Buffets are wonderful instruments. So this one has, again, grenadilla wood. And as we mentioned before, every piece of wood is a little bit different. So you're going to find in this quality of instrument, they're going to pick out a really good piece of wood. They're seasoned for many years, so it's very stable. Again, it features undercut tone holes, so you get a very nice melodious fluid transfer from one note to the other, and a beautiful, beautiful tone. And let me play a little bit of this one for you.
We're filming a video. Okay. Here, I got one for you now that we're done.
And we'll just, Okay, so thank you, Mr. Osmek, for demonstrating these different instruments. He tried out the Giardinelli by Buffet, the LeBlanc Serenade, and the Buffet R13. So can you tell us just a little bit about what type of players these would be good for?
Yes. Well, these instruments are very excellent choices. If your child is interested in moving on up and rising to the top of their band class, they'll be auditioning for all-state band, maybe for student orchestras, or playing in church and they want to have a beautiful sound, and maybe moving on up to college and being a involved with their college programs. These instruments, one of the things I would like to make note of is when you hear me play, I played the clarinet so long that I could make virtually anything sound good. The question is, how easily can I do it? And this is really where choosing these type of instruments are a great benefit to your students. One of the things that we have to fight when you're dealing with students moving up through the intermediate into advanced level is discouragement. We want an instrument that they can grow into, that will respond well and allow them to really develop their playing to the highest level. And these are the kind of instruments where they're not going to feel the discouragement of like, the note didn't respond well enough. So this idea of response, when you're playing a woodwind instrument, how you use your breath and how easily it is for the note to do what you want it to do, that's where this type of choice will excel. Now the buffet is excellent. I could play this instrument on anything for the rest of my life. So if you want to go all the way and get the professional model, I always encourage people to do it if you know that your student is serious and they have a high goal for their playing. So I encourage you to take a look at these. I think it'd be a good investment.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you all for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the demonstration. Just a couple things in closing that we wanted to let you know about. We do have other brands available, so those were just a small variety of things that we wanted to demonstrate. So we do have appointments available at the store, so please make sure that you call or email to make your appointment. Unless you know what you already want, then you can just come in and purchase. We've got an Upgrade Your Sound event going on right now, and there's special promotions available. We do have 10% off if you're doing, just a cash transaction, or we have 48 months financing available with no interest for qualified customers. The Giardinelli and Strobel brand instruments do offer rental credit for the rental customers, and you can take up to 50% off of the retail price of the instrument if you choose one of those. We also have some manufacturer rebates on certain brands. And at this time, we're going to open it up to questions and answers. So if you haven't put your questions in the chat room, this would be a perfect time to do so. Thank you for joining us.